Right, right. Yeah. Said to my Lord. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Again, I mean, I think that's a good point here. If for no other reason, just to help us understand better why or how it's been difficult for people through the ages to really understand God's plan, right? I mean, there are things that you can get tripped up on, and so that's why we need people who can. We need the Word, of course, but we need God has gifted evangelists, people who can teach and preach His Word to help clarify and help us to understand. So this is very good. Yes, sir.
Lord, could we conclude that this was God the Father making a declaration of His Son, making a statement to us of His Son?
In this, go ahead.
Yeah, was this revealed by Peter alone, or was this
Uh,
God the Father?
well, yeah, I mean, it's a good question, but I know as you well know, Jesus speaks to that, doesn't he? And Jesus says, you know what? This could only have been revealed to you by my Father, right? This is not an agency of man, but this is a divine agency and only revealed by God. Flesh and blood could not have revealed this truth. So that's very good. All right, so we did well here. Again, just trying to emphasize Peter. And again, much has been made of this, but I do still think it's important. And Jesus does call it my church. It's ownership. His church is what's being built, right? All right, so God had purposed something in his mind. And by the way, church, I want to challenge us to think more broadly about church, less about, not that it's wrong, not that it's wrong to call a local congregation a church. Local congregations in the scriptures are referred to as churches. I just want us to recognize that church also has a more global or universal more global or universal sense to it, in the sense that church is that domain that God created for the lost to be saved. It's not just a local building. It can be that, but more specifically, it is a domain that God prepared for lost man to be saved. Hang on for me one second. I got to keep going. All right, but I just want to make sure that we have that and we understand that idea. I got another one now. So he says my church. So I just want to move, and Jeff, I'll come back to you. So he has. So where was I? He was in verse. Here we go. So he says in verse 18, upon this rock I will build my church. And then the next thing he says in 18 is and the gates of Hades, some of you were to say the gates of hell shall not overpower it. And I'm only lifting it to say that this is an important characterization of the church. It's an important characterization of the church because what God has created, this domain where the lost can be saved, this speaks to the security and power of it.